The Rob Ash Show, with your host, Mick Trier, and Drake University head football coach, Rob Ash. The Rob Ash Show is brought to you in part by Dave Ostrom Mitsubishi, 90th and Hickman in Des Moines.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Rob Ash Show. I'm Mick Trier, along with Drake football coach Rob Ash. Coach, congratulations. Another W for the season. A win over Evansville this past weekend, 17-7, and that sets a record at Drake in Division III for records.
Well, I'll tell you, Mick, we got a great finish to the season, 4 wins in a row, and the last one gave us the best record in the Division III era at Drake, which was the record, the goal that our seniors had really wanted, so it was nice. Let's
talk about this football game a little bit. I know going into that contest, you knew it was going to be a tough one. Evansville wanted it bad, too, and it was going to be a dogfight.
It was a great, great football game, great scene for a game. They were very motivated. They had a record to shoot for also, which was that if they won, they would have the best record in percentage-wise in the history of their school. And they had some seniors they were trying to honor as well. So it was very emotional. Both teams wanted to win very badly. It was quite a college football game.
Going in, though, of course, we saw that last game at home for the seniors for Drake. You knew it was going to be an emotional game, but you knew one thing. The seniors were going to come out to play, and the rest of them were going to come out and help the seniors.
That's right. Our whole team was motivated for the sake of our seniors. You know, I think that means as much as the fact that the seniors were ready to play. In fact, the seniors were probably so emotional they didn't start out as well in this game maybe as they have in some other games because they knew it was their last chance to play the game that they really have enjoyed playing. And the rest of the team supported them, got them over the hump, and then as the game wore on, our seniors, our veterans, really took it to them.
Before we talk about the offense, let's talk about the defense. What a great job of the defensive squad.
Unbelievable job because Evansville has a great offensive scheme and it puts a lot of pressure on you, and in fact they took the ball, drove right down and scored at the beginning of the game, but our defensive guys came back, made good plays. It was obvious our offense was not having one of its better days, and not only did the defense stop them, but we finally got the touchdown at the end by the defense to put the game away.
Offensively, you lost Roy Fletcher for part of the ball game. He got knocked out of the game with a slight concussion.
That's right, and that was, you know, was really a devastating blow for our team in a sense that, you know, Roy had such a great sequence coming into this game, and, you know, he was really from the second quarter on, he was a little woozy, and right at the time when he was making the trainers were making the decision that Roy couldn't play anymore was when Steve Tendall picked off the pass, ran it in, gave us a 10-point lead, and then Craig McLean, who came off the bench, did a great job and took us, you know, on some time-consuming drives in the fourth quarter to help salt it away.
Well, it was a good one, and we'll be back to take a look at the highlights of this football game in just a moment.
Mitsubishi believes that a luxury car should offer something beyond the usual luxuries. It may be extraordinary power and control, a consummate blend of comfort and performance, or a state-of-the-art four-wheel drive system. The Diamante, the Montero, the 3000 GT. Luxury, as defined by Mitsubishi. The word is getting around.
Sam Siegel, his wife Annette, daughters Elise and Marlene, and grandchildren Michael, Risa, and Mikey invite you to join them and all the employees at Home Plastics in supporting the Drake Bulldogs all season long. This fall, there's exciting nonstop action and entertainment when the Bulldogs hit the field. Take your family to all the games. Sam does. There are 2 names Des Moines can count on: Home Plastics and Drake University.
To make a great Sunday brunch, start with a great view. Add something colorful and healthy. And don't forget to add something a little sinful. Add something steamy and delicious and really pile it on. Then make sure you add the right stuff, like good friends. Sunday morning at the Capitol View Dining Room. Brunch at the Best Western Starlight Village downtown once, and you'll be back for more.
Welcome back to the Rob Ash Show. Coach, going into this football game, you knew it was going to be a hard-hitting, hard-fought ball game for the Bulldogs, and they were ready to play.
Evansville was really ready to play. They had this record that they were shooting for, and I think both teams knew that we were going to be future rivals in the Pioneer Football League, and wanted to get a step up on the other team going into that new conference. And I'll tell you, it was a great college football game, a great setting for a game, and both teams ready to play, and it was quite an afternoon.
One other thing, you knew that it was going to be bad weather. You expected some rain and cold weather, and that's exactly what you got.
That's right. They had rain all week. The field was very wet, and then during the game there were a lot of snow flurries, and the footing was very poor. I think that contributed a little bit to the tough offensive days that both teams had.
Let's watch the highlights of this football game.
Here we are at Evansville Stadium, and very nice facilities down there. It was, as I said, it was cold, and the snow is going to start here. As you go through the tape, you'll see it coming up. You can see it was a chilly day. Evansville had the ball first. This was a 3rd down and 2 play with a pass from Fish to Hogue. Hogue, 84, is one of the top receivers in the country in Division III. You see him going in motion a lot. So Evansville got off to a great start on their first possession. We had a big blitz on, and they leaked a back out of the backfield, and he came out uncovered. And so they're continuing down on their first possession here, making some key plays. They got down inside the 20. Joe Bianchi made a great stop underneath. He was being blocked. He submarined the blocker, made the stop. But on a 3rd down play, the quarterback rolled out here. Fish hit a quick pass inside, and that got him down to about the 2-yard line. Deweese there, number 19, is a tremendous freshman receiver for Evansville. We stopped him on the first play from the goal line, and then on the second try, they pushed it in. So before we ever touched the ball, they had a 7-0 lead, and you can see they were very pumped up. That whole sequence was started by a 50-yard return on the opening kickoff. They practically took the first kickoff all the way for a touchdown, so we were in trouble. But our offense came back. We tried to get things going here at the beginning. On 3rd and 4, Don Sowing, who had a great game, powered inside for several yards. Then on our second 3rd down situation of the game, Roy Fletcher got sacked. That's what we call a coverage sack. He had plenty of time to throw, but they had excellent coverage downfield. Chad Briley slipped a little bit on his route. So our first possession, we got the 1 first down, and then we had to punt the ball away. So Evansville got the ball back, and you can see the snow started to fly. Got to be a little tough. Here's a interception by Matt Garvis. This was one of the key early plays in the game. We had just tried to go for it on 4th and 1. Evansville got the ball. They were all pumped up, and Garvis got an interception on a 1st down play. So what could have been a real tough situation for us, giving them the ball on that emotional 4th down play, instead we got our first good scoring opportunity. Fletcher started out with screen pass to Mike Stanfield. He handled that ball really well, even though the snow was really coming down. It got us going on the inside their 10-yard line, trying to decide what we wanted to do here because of the snow. It was kind of limiting our passing game. Decided to go with Matt Conlon off tackle. Watch this run. He's going to pull away, keep his feet moving. That's really a great job for a young freshman. And, he had a good game in the snow also. Got us down, got us the drive, kept the drive alive. But finally on 4th down, after an incomplete pass, we had to go for the field goal. And Billy Willers came in and drilled it right between the uprights. Billy has made something like 23 kicks in a row, including PATs and field goals now at this point in the season, and that was a tremendous job by him. Looks like our cameraman from Evansville thought that Mike Hoffman was the head coach there, so we're going to maybe get a few shots of Coach Hoffman during the day today. Here we go with the ball again now in the second quarter. Conlon with another good run. Lots of people had trouble with footing, but Matt didn't. He did a nice job, and we got a good crease on the side there for the run. Here's Mike Stanfield. Watch this run here. He's going to get hit again and break both tackles. Continue to plow down the field, and the running game for Drake, really between the two teams, that was a big difference. When we tried to pass, they had great coverage, and here on a 3rd down play, Fletcher's going to get pulled down, and Evansville had done a nice job of stopping some of our favorite pass routes. So we had to punt the ball, even though we were in their own territory. I called for the punt on our own 30, and we've done a nice job of these in practice, and this one worked out great, bouncing to the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we got them stopped. So that made us look good. Punting from your 30, you stand to only gain 10 yards. We had them trapped here, but look what Evansville does. On 1st down, they pass out of the end zone. Great one-handed catch by Hogue, and that's why he's one of the nation's leaders in receptions. Nice catch, even though Greg Gerlach really hit him hard at the end of the play, so that got him out of the hole. Our defense continued to play well, though, and we forced them to punt out of that situation, and wouldn't you know, but their punter hits a career best with the wind. The ball bounced around, bounced off Chad Briley's hand, so he had to fall on it, and the punt went clear back to back inside the 30, so we didn't get any field position out of that exchange of punts. Here's Don Sowing with another good run, hard run off tackle. Evansville sort of dares you to run. They leave a lot of people in coverage, and so that's what we decided to do. Here's a big play of the game. 3rd down, Fletch runs out of the trouble, finds Chad Briley on a little short pass, and look at this. Chad runs through a couple guys, Gets a good block from Jeff Bregar. And once again, as he's done so many times all year, he turned a little short play into a big play. Here's a replay again. Watch from the top of the screen. Chad's running across. And Fletch can't find him early. The linebacker had him, but Chad eluded him. Ran right between those two guys. Good block by Jeff Creel there, and then by Jeff Bregar later. Our wide receivers and tight ends, our receivers in general, do a great job of blocking. And that play, more than any other single play in the first half, was key, because that gave us an opportunity to get into the lead. The field goal now also was pivotal, because we had the field goal and the touchdown. We had the lead. It wasn't tied. We had an opportunity now to play a little more conservative football with our good defense and our running game. You can see everybody's bundled up because it was a tough day to play. The wind was whipping, and pretty tough conditions. Later on here, Craig Ortworth, look at this, just enough of a hand. Ortworth had 4 sacks on the day, and did just enough there with the soft footing to knock down the quarterback. There's some of the Drake fans. We had a section of our own. We had a lot of parents who came all the way down from Chicago and Illinois and Iowa, in fact, to make it down for the game. We got the ball back here at the end of the second quarter. Matt Conlon with another good run. He fumbled at the end of this play. And Brad Best with a heads-up play, good hustle, managed to recover the ball for us. Don Sowing with a good run. We're trying to run the clock out here at the end of the second quarter, and we were successful in being able to do that. Got field position changed, and we only got out to about the 50, though, so it wasn't really a good opportunity given the conditions to try to score. So we took the 10-7 lead into halftime, and in the second half here now, Evansville's going this direction again. Evansville's got a good scoring opportunity. They had a couple nice, threats into our scoring territory, but when they tried to run the ball, we did a great job of shutting them down. And here you'll see with quarterbacks trying to throw it all the way down the field on a third down play, and Greg Gerlach makes the interception. They tried to hit Deweese on that play. He had made one catch to get him down to that far, and then Greg made the interception. Again, another senior with a heads-up play at a critical time in the football game. Of course, that also changed the field position to where we were down, deep in our own territory. Cortez Hull, you can see the bad footing. Cortez is more of a slasher. Had a good run there, a good chance for a run, but the footing made it pretty tough for him, and he was knocked down. Continuing on now, Fletcher's still in the game, but by this time he's already been hit, and he's not sure where all his receivers are. That one there was one we'd done 100 times in practice, though. He just by rote was able to find Sean Diggs. Big play on third down to get us out of there, and we were able to control the ball for about 10 plays in a row on that drive, and that became the story of the game. We were able to take time off the clock. Here's Steve Tenold breaking up a pass, still in third quarter action. Defense, Evansville trying to mount a threat, still 10-7. Watch Mark Simon. Really breaking well on the ball. They tried the quick pass to Deweese. I'm not sure if they had a double pass called or if he was just going to run a quick screen, but Mark made a great break on the ball. And here's the other great big play of the game. A one-handed tipped interception by Steve Tenold. Third quarter action. That gives us the touchdown to break the game away. I'm sure this is a replay. Watch the top of your screen. You'll see the tight end, number 84. And he's going to come from his position across the field. They had cleared that area out. Steve's chasing him across the field. The ball was just a little tiny bit underthrown. Steve got a hand on it and made the interception. What a tremendous play, because at that point they were telling us on the sideline that Fletcher wasn't going to be able to play anymore. It's still a third quarter. It's 10-7 when they tell me Fletcher can't play anymore. I look up on the field and Steve's intercepting it and taking it back for a touchdown. Now with a 10-point lead and a whole quarter of football to play, of course a lot of things can play, but 10's a lot better than 3. And we knew that a fluke play, a guy slipping and falling, or something like that couldn't beat us. And we were able to go into the fourth quarter with the mentality that we were going to have to try to control the football and see if we could run the clock out in that fourth quarter. Evansville continued to come back here, trying to get out of the hole, but again, good coverage caused him to try to scramble, and Ortworth helps make the sack there. Todd Sauer played a good game inside too. So now we're going on into the fourth quarter action. The snow had stopped, but it was still chilly and cold. Evansville trying now in the fourth quarter to come up, and Sauer, 61 there with another good play. Charlie Partridge, Todd Sauer, Kevin Beveridge, and Ortworth up in that front line did a great job of putting 4-man pressure on Evansville's quarterback all day. Here's a blitz situation. This time the linebackers helped out. Garvis and Jacobino rushed, and that allowed the tackles to get one-on-one coverage. Ortworth was able to break through for a sack. Once again, you can see Evansville is the pass team. They're trying to go down the field. Mark Simon, who had a great day covering Deweese. I mean, that's a matchup of a senior against a freshman, and that's a great freshman guy that they have there in Deweese, and Simon did a great job covering him all day. Meanwhile, Craig McLean at quarterback, we're running the football, and as I said, Craig did an excellent job running this football team. Our line did a great job of opening holes, even though Evansville knew we were basically going to run the football. We're trying to run the clock, too, at the same time. We're trying to take our full 25 seconds each time. They keep trying to go downtown. Great defensive play again by Simon, tipping the ball away. Man-to-man coverage, because we had to get some pressure. Here's a little screen, a middle screen. Joe Bianchi breaks up and makes a great hit. And our defense at this point, as the game wore on in the fourth quarter, the defense just got stronger and stronger. And every time we had the ball, we were able to take some time off. We had some Drake cheerleaders who drove all the way down from Des Moines to the game. I really thought that was terrific because you know, that's a long trip, 10-hour trip. We got home at 4 o'clock in the morning, but it was worth it. It was a happy team that you know, shook hands with Evansville out there. And as I said, it's going to be a great rivalry, a great situation to play these guys down the road.
And they are a good team. They are definitely a good team.
They've had a great season, and they had a nice team to play.
Let's move on to our Christopher scoreboard here. Christopher's Restaurant, a tradition in Des Moines for 30 years. Christopher's features fresh pastas, aged Iowa beef, and fresh seafood. Its lounge is a great place to have a pizza and watch the game or the Rob A. Show.
Looking at the statistics, Mick, you'll see that I think one of the keys down at the bottom of the list there, the possession time, we had the ball much longer than Evansville did. But the other thing, if you look at the second line from the top, rushing yards, we had almost 200 yards rushing. Evansville had -10. Now that's because they passed a lot and we got a lot of sacks. But I really believe if you can run the football, that you can win football games. Run the football and stop the run. And I think that was probably the difference in this game. Individual leaders, Greg Gerlach, Matt Garvis, and Steve Tenold were the tackle leaders. Conlon and Sowing each had about 60 yards rushing. You know, tough, hard yards to get, but we knew we had to run the ball better this time. Of course, Briley had the big yardage because of the one big play, and those two plays, his play and Tenold's interception, really were the keys to the game.
Certainly nice late in the ball game, especially with your quarterback on the sidelines, to know that you have that defense to put out there when you got a 10-point lead.
Well, that's right, and the defense, I had great confidence in our defense. Even though they're playing an excellent offense who has a lot of weapons, our defense was sound. We knew what we had to do. The guys had great coverage, and you know, with a 10-point lead, then you can really put it in the hands of the defense because you know one mistake isn't going to get you beat, and they were able to do it, and they didn't even let them get that much.
And on the same note, of course, being so balanced, rushing and passing, as you guys have been this year, being able to run the ball late in the game too.
I think that helps you, especially in tough conditions, to be able to go to your running game and make that work. I think that's been a key to our success. And you know, we had more running game than Evansville did. If they get that cranked up to go with everything else they have, they'll be tough.
When we return, we'll name our players of the game. We'll be back after this.
Delivery time of gasoline, diesel fuel, and motor oil supplies is crucial to Iowa industry. Timely personal service and quality Conoco products at an affordable price that service professionals and their customers can depend on. Parker Oil Company of Des Moines, Iowa.
Welcome back to the Rob A. Show. Coach, it's time to name our Dave Oster Mitsubishi players of the game. I think it gets tougher and tougher every week here, naming our offense and defensive players.
It really does. There's a lot of guys who play well every week, and maybe we should name a whole unit sometime. You know, you look on both sides of the ball, there were some great performances. Matt Garvis and Greg Gerlach had interceptions on defense. You know, the offensive line did a great job of opening up the holes, but in order to pick one guy on each side, you know, we went ahead and on the offensive side, we decided to pick Don Sowing. Don had 17 carries, which is probably a season high for him. Really some tough yardage inside, did a good job of blocking, and as a senior leader for us, I think, you know, this caps off his career. He did a great job for us all year long as a captain, as a leader, and had a great job running the football in tough conditions. And of course, Steve Tenold, has to be the Defensive Player of the Week. Steve with that great interception for the touchdown, the play that put it away. What a fitting end for an All-American career for a great linebacker. And it was really one of those moments that you just kind of storybook ending to the season you hope can write itself out that way. And I'm glad for Steve it came out.
Maybe if you have a specialty team type of play, it might have been Briley who got the guy down to the first run back of the game.
Chad had a good game. He made the tackle, a saving tackle on the opening kickoff, had the big play for the touchdown. You know, handled the ball, had 3 nice catches in the game, but, you know, every time you name one, there's going to be somebody else, and that's why you're winning. And I guess the main thing we try to talk about with our team is team goals. And I don't think that any of the guys worry about who gets picked or who doesn't get picked because we won. We accomplished the goal that we wanted to get to.
It's time now for a Home Team Pizza player interview. Who's it going to be today? We're
going to talk with Jeff Bregar today. Jeff's a young man that walked on at our football team 4 years ago. We didn't know much about him. He was a wide receiver. He really had to work hard to compete on his football team. He did just that. He's one of the great guys in the weight room off season. Became an excellent player for us. Filled in for Jeff Creel last year. We moved him to tight end this year, and he became a tremendous asset for us there, sharing time with Don Bowman. So we're going to hear from one of the unsung heroes, Jeff Bregar.
The Rob Ash Player Profile is brought to you by Home Team Pizza.
Well, this is probably one of the more cohesive groups of seniors since I've been here. It's just incredible. I mean, there were several times during the off season where we'd get together and just talk about the upcoming season and things that we might like to do to try to make ourselves better. And the 10 or 15 guys or whatever it is, I think everyone's committed to, you know, just one last hurrah, giving it the best we got, just going out with the best record we've had since we've been here. It's really great group of guys. Freshman year, I came into camp about a week late. I wasn't really recruited, and all the guys were here already, you know, getting to know each other and making friends. And most of the guys probably didn't even know my name till halfway through the season or later. But I really wanted to play, so I just stayed after it. And then sophomore year, I played a little bit here and there. And then last year, I got my break. Some guys got hurt and stuff. And that's when I started getting my playing time. And since then, it's just been, you know, through staying after it, I just got a lot of time, and it's really worked out good. When I came in as a freshman, I was probably only 165, 170 pounds, and my bench and squat was real weak and stuff, but I liked lifting weights, so I just stayed after it and got in the weight room and worked hard. And it just seemed like I started growing and getting stronger, and it was working out with my playing time, because the wide receivers usually not, you know, your bigger, stronger guys, and I wasn't as fast, so I was getting some of the blocking plays and special teams work and stuff like that. So the weight room is really the biggest place where I got my playing time. It helped me out a lot. Well, I came in as a pharmacy major, and I've stayed with it all 3 years so far, and I'll be graduating on time after 5 years. I hope to go into maybe a retail setting, and I think as far as football, it's probably helped me because it helps me organize my time. It keeps me busy where there's not all that something to do, so I think it's really helped my academic career. I think the biggest thing for motivation is just pride. I think the guys here, I mean, we realize that we're, you know, not a lot of Division I caliber athletes and stuff as far as the seniors, but we all still wanted to go somewhere and continue playing ball. So pride is just the main thing. I mean, guys that just don't like to lose and want to show that they can still be a part of a team and excel.
Hi, this is Tom Baldwin, owner of Home Team Pizza. That's the only place you can get Des Moines Super Large or Large, that fantastic 16-inch pizza. You already know we make our dough every day from scratch, and so it's the freshest anywhere. And you already know we guarantee delivery in 30 minutes or you get your pizza free. But believe it or not, there's still some people that don't know that our larger large pizza with single topping is only $7.99, and it's absolutely delicious. So call Home Team Pizza right now for your larger large.
Our Drake football team uses a lot of option routes in our wide open pass game. We like them because they work. Another option that can work for you is to stay at a Knapp Hotel property in Des Moines. The Savory, Valley West Inn, Travelodge North, and the Drake Inn. So whether you're coming to Des Moines for a Drake football weekend, business, or a quiet getaway, You'll pick a winner with Knapp Hotel Properties. For more information, call 1-800-798-2151 and enjoy the Knapp Hotel experience.
The award-winning Mitsubishi 3000 GT. The stunning Mitsubishi Eclipse for 1993. Nothing livens up a family like a little sibling rivalry. The Eclipse from Mitsubishi. The word is getting around.
And welcome back to the Rob A. Show. Before we talk about the seniors on this year's squad, we would like to quickly remind you about our Hopkins contest. You see the address on the screen. This week's player was
Jeff Bregar. So send your cards in. We'll hope we get another winner this week.
Let's talk about the seniors on this squad. Coach, if you could do the duties for us.
Well, we've got a picture of each senior we'd like to put on the screen. I'll just take a minute to talk about each guy. We don't see their faces very often with those helmets. First of all, David Grun. David was a backup to Greg Gerlach and Mark Simon in the secondary, but doggone, he stayed with us for the whole 4 years, and I really appreciate the fact when a guy can do that. Steve Tenold, we've talked about a lot all year. What a great season and a great career as an All-American linebacker, in spite of the fact that he has been fighting diabetes for his entire lifetime. Here's Don Sowing. Don was a captain, obviously a great fullback for us, had a great career, played 4 years, but his leadership this year was really special, I thought, on this football team. Tony Iacobino, another young man who bounced around different positions, finally found a home at linebacker, and kept the whole team loose during his career. He's one of those guys you got to have on a football team. Jeff Bregar, another young man. Without this guy, where would you be? And we didn't recruit him. He walked on and found us, and boy, am I glad he did. Jeff was a real leader, an inspirational leader, tough guy on offense, and that helped us. Mike Bort, one of those linemen that never gets any publicity. Mike is another free spirit, a guy that really you got to have on a football team to keep everybody loose. Don Bowman, one of our top students on our football team, great football player. This year for us in particular, really came into his own as a tight end, identifying defenses. Another guy who could have hung it up but stayed with us. Kevin Beveridge, one of those guys that played 4 years, a real anchor in a defensive line. We talked a lot about the younger guys in the defensive line, but Kevin was there as a solid, stabilizing influence all year. We're going to miss him. Another 4-year starter, Brad Besh, made the move from center to guard as a junior. Just did a tremendous job for us. Started 39 out of 40 games, had a great career. Scott Baker, there's a guy right there that blocked his man all year long, every play, never said one word. What a great career he had. 3-year starter at offensive tackle. Greg Gerlach, I tell you, if you could make a free safety for Coach Jay Neiman's system, it would be Greg Gerlach's type. He does everything you'd want back there, great coverage guy and tackler, great young man. He'll be a success. Mark Simon, another captain for us, another one of our top students on the football team. What a great career he had as a coverage corner, and we could do a lot of man-to-man things because we had Mark out there. Jeff Creel could have quit his career, after 4 years, injured last year, but he came back for the 5th year, was our leading receiver, had a great season, and best of all, stayed healthy the entire year. Jason Conway didn't play a lot in that defensive line, but Jason really enjoyed being on the football team, gave us great depth at defensive tackle, and fought off some injuries, had a good year for us. And Rick Meyer, of all the seniors, I think I respect this guy the most because Rick didn't play hardly at all year, or during his career, in fact, but he stayed with us and he made great contributions.
Coach, you're going to miss these seniors, but you got a lot of people back. You got the program going in the right direction.
I really feel we do, Mick. There's so many great things going on at Drake right now. We've got the new weight room, the new facilities, the new league in the Pioneer League. We're going Division I AA. We had a great season. We ended up Division III with a flourish. And if you could write a script of how you'd want to go into I AA, it would be just where we are right now.
Well, it's been a great year for the Bulldogs, been a great year for us on the Rob A. Show.
I've enjoyed working with you, Mick, and thanks to Rich Gilman and Brad Harvey and all the people here at Heritage for another good year.
You betcha. We'll see you back here next year on the Rob A. Show.